Okay, this episode, there's a lot to go over, so let's just dive right in. Okay, wait, alright, so the cliffhanger for last time was Maria and Oscar's ship got shot, and there's smoke billowing out, and it looks like they're gonna crash land, but I guess they're just fucking fine. It seems like they're wasting their time fighting Cordo's mech, because it seems like they could've just flown away. The mech isn't fast in water or anything. It's not gonna catch up to them. Rather than stopping to fight her, why not just have them land the ship? Because clearly it got shot with a warning shot and then she launched a missile at it, and it's still fucking fine. And then later in this episode, it gets shot again and it crashes, and then still just starts floating up again, and it's fine. So why the fuck are they just sitting around fighting her? She can't catch up with them. Why not just land, everyone jump in, they take off, pick up Blake and Yang, and then just go? Cordo can't catch up with them. Why have a fucking cliffhanger of the ship crashing if you're not gonna even bother with it? Just another reason why this plan was stupid, Jean. You should've just fucking wrote Ironwood a letter. I do like how Oscar figured out a way to stop her cannon, though. Like, I saw him looking at it, and I was looking at the, rotation of the barrel also, but I wasn't sure what he was thinking, and it didn't even cross my mind to, fire at her missiles before she launched them. It is a clever tactic, but a dumb fight. Wait, fucking Cordo's mech was right up on the cliff shore, right next to RWBY. She was firing at her, and now she's out in the middle of the ocean, just to give Maria time to fly up to her, and we can have that glamour shot of RWBY firing her bullet at her. You had a whole fucking segment in the last RWBY episode about consistency with character placement, but now it's just it doesn't match up with the shot we want to get, so just throw her out in the middle of the ocean. It doesn't fucking matter. I would like to point out that I really like Cordo's voice actress, and she does an amazing job with all of Cordo's over-the-top dramatic lines, and I love her. I really like that their plan didn't work out. It was a good plan, it had a good tactic to it, but there's always that possibility that they're gonna catch on. Especially when you have your giant fucking scythe out while you're making your shot. I don't know, why is the scythe out? You have a gun mode for it. Is the sniper only activated while it's in scythe mode? Because it doesn't seem like it. Is it better for, aim? I would assume with being in an airship it would make it worse for aim, but whatever. I like that it didn't work out right away, and that means that they have to now reassess and try something new. I like that her shot, fucked up with Maria's eyes, because I saw something, I don't know if a lot of people noticed it, but when she fired her warning shot, while Maria and Weiss were in the airship, Weiss turns to Maria and she goes, "Are you okay?" And I was looking at Maria at the time, her, eyes started spinning, and it looked crazy, and it was cool. And she was like, "I'm fine." I'm like, "Oh, that's neat." The shot affected the wiring of her eyes. I thought it was just a visual gag, but it was actually, leading to this moment, and it's pretty cool how they set that up beforehand. So, a couple of episodes ago, in the episode of the Grim Reaper, I was talking about how I wasn't happy with Vic Mignogna's performance. I said he sounded bored, and he wasn't putting as much effort into it. This episode, he really went all out, and I think it's just because the lines they give Crow tend to be a lot of, exposition, and a lot of, he's supposed to be dour and dopey, or he's, just explaining something, and it must be hard for Vic Mignogna to give a good performance if there's no emotion attached to the line, because here, when he's talking to RWBY, he sounds worried. He cares about RWBY, that's his niece. And Vic Mignogna does a really good job portraying that, so I think it's not Vic Mignogna's fault that Crow tends to sound a little bored during most of his deliveries. I think it's just the way the writers are it's either the way the writers are writing Crow or how the directors are directing Vic Mignogna for Crow's lines. So I understand it's in RWBY's character to stop and try to find a peaceful solution to end a fight with someone, but I am so tired of her "the power of friendship" monologue she keeps giving. Every single person, "Raven, do you want to be our friend instead? Yo, Emerald, do you want to be our friend instead? Yo, what's up, Cordo? Don't use your giant mech. I know you've been trying to kill us this whole time, but what if you just be our friend instead?" I wish it wasn't all the time she made this fucking speech. It's tropey at this point. It's tropey and laughable. One good thing is they animated her face amazingly. I don't think anyone's facial expressions have ever looked this just just well animated. It's just so nice. Just something as simple as her eyes moving, her mouth movements, it's just all of it. I wouldn't be surprised if they, like, got Lindsay to sit there and then they, like, filmed her and then used her performance to, like, figure out how they wanted to animate RWBY for here. Because it looks really great, and I love it. At least if you're gonna have a giant, stupid monologue speech about friendship, have it look really nice while we're just watching RWBY talk. So I liked RWBY's plan of, like, going inside and, like, shooting it. That was a neat way of ending the fight with Cordo. Like, even though she had her diplomatic solution she was trying to do, she did have an alternate idea just in case it didn't work. So I would like to point out that I did find out what the thing on his eye is. It's an emblem. It's supposed to say SDC for Schnee Dust Company. I wish we would have gotten some of that kind of information. Like, how did he get it? I assume that's part of the reason as to why he hates humanity so much. It seems like something like, a character short could have gone into greater detail about that kind of thing. But, it's too late for that now, isn't it? Holy shit. Okay, is anyone else super annoyed that Adam non-stop talks while he's doing anything? He's like a theater kid. Oh, I'm here because of backstory, and then he, like, swings his sword, and he's like, these people are trying to kill you, you're in a fight, and he constantly stops to wax poetics. Come on, Adam! You're better than that. Just, jeez Louise. Okay, so last time, I didn't have a whole lot to say about his one-on-one fight between Adam and Blake, and I said it's hard to comment on fights that are just one-on-one. This one, even if it's just one-on-two, way more interesting. Like, they do a lot more interesting combat moves. Like, Blake jumps up off his sword at one point in time, and they really played around a lot with Blake and Yang's different abilities, and how Adam also has his abilities and how they work against each other during combat. It's a little fast. I feel like something RWBY has fallen into the habit of is combat is either really, really slow or really, really fast, and it makes it a little hard to follow, especially because the camera moves around a lot also. I would like it if we just had a bit more, like, glamour shots, which we get a really good one this episode, but yeah, maybe just a little bit more, or at least just slow it down a little bit. It doesn't need to be high-octane, non-stop, fast-paced shit all the time. Okay, so Adam uses his, like, moon slice periodically throughout this fight, specifically against Yang, and I have two problems with it. One, why does it not do that stylistic thing anymore? Like, iconic, black trailer. Everything goes black and red, and it's highlighted, and it's really cool, stylized, punctuated, amazing style that gave the show its unique edge. Now it's just like a red blob force that runs at her, and it's not good looking. Like, it looks fine, but compared to what it was, it's a lot more disappointing, and I wish they would, like, highlight their style that they used to have. Second thing, he cut off her arm. Like, maybe he just got her at a good angle, it's hard to tell, but from what we can tell, she didn't lose any aura, but he was still able to cut off her entire arm. He seemingly cut through her entire aura tanks, unless she had just lost all of it off screen, maybe using her semblance too much, but we don't know that for sure, so it seems like he just cut right through her aura no matter what, and I thought that's what his semblance was that he can generate enough power in a weapon to cut through someone's aura. But no, that's not what it is, I guess. So now he keeps using his moon slice against her, and she keeps just, like, blocking it with her arm. The same fucking arm that she lost, and is in, like, super Atlas titanium adamantium shit. Like, why is it not cutting through her arm now? Why is it blocking now? I also feel like this would be a much stronger Yang moment if she hadn't been using her robot arm much up until this point. Okay, so she loses her arm, PTSD. Things happen. Now she has her new one. And she still has to get used to using it, but once she puts it on, she just immediately starts using it to block bullets. Like, we can go back to her just beating up Raven's bandit chumps in the forest during Volume 5. They're shooting bullets at her, and she's using her arm to block. And yes, it is a tactical choice, but I feel like at that point in time, she wouldn't be really willing to use that arm a whole lot in combat. That's what made her lose the arm in the first place. And now she's using it as a fucking shield. I think it would be stronger if she knew she could be using it for things like that, for shielding herself, but she was still too, like, nervous, too much PTSD in the back of her mind to fully use the arm to the potential it has. And then the next big step for her would be she disengages it during the fight at Haven, showing that she's getting to the point where she's willing to take it off during combat situations if she needs to. That's a step forward. And then here, when he does his final moon slice and she blocks it and she activates her semblance, she finally uses her arm to defend herself, and it saved her, and she gets over it. That would be the highlight of her character arc of losing her arm. But since she's been using it to block herself throughout the whole time of her having it, it just doesn't have that impact as it could have. And it's a little disappointing that they totally just missed that opportunity. It would have been so much better if they would have built up to this, but for what it's worth, it's not bad. I just wish they would have used it a lot better. Holy shit! Yeah! This moment is probably the best moment of these last 3 volumes, this season of RWBY, ever. It was so amazing to see her semblance fully activated. I thought we'd been seeing it. I thought they just dropped her hair glowing thing. But no, she just wasn't using her semblance to its full ability. And it's fucking amazing! It looks so beautiful, and it's just so amazing seeing her back to that point. And it's just amazing and awesome. Okay, I need to word myself a little bit better. Okay. This moment was so awesome when I first watched it. I went back and rewatched it. I saw it happen, paused the video, moved it back, and then watched that scene again. It's just that level of effort, of quality of animation, and just the, a style on her hair, scene, it all punched so well. I know I just spent a whole, fucking hour talking about how I wished they did her arm different, but regardless, this scene was still so amazing to see, and I loved it so much. Everything about it did so well, and it was just amazing, and it was so great to see. I know I've griped about a lot of stuff throughout this episode so far. It's because I know this moment is so powerful. It's great to see Yang back in full force. It's great to see her using her semblance only when she needs to. And it's great to see her fucking kick ass again like the Yang we all know and love. Blake's uppercut was cool, but I was confused because we saw her climbing up the mountain and now she's suddenly below them. Yang was watching her. She went up. What did she just go up and then around and then back down? That seems kind of pointless. Maybe if we got a better look at the landscape she was dealing with, it'd make more sense. I thought she was gonna do a drop kick. I thought that's what they were setting up. Still, uppercut was cool. Just confusing choreography. Holy fucking shit. Okay, so, never in a million years did I expect anyone on Team RWBY to actually kill someone. At least not on purpose. I always expected, if a character was to die, I expected it to be like Torchwick. It's their own hubris. They just put themselves in that situation. I guess I was expecting, because in the shows, you always see, the main characters are no, we can't kill them. That's against our moral code. If we kill them, we're just as bad as they are. I guess that doesn't fly in RWBY. To be fair, I don't know. If you locked Adam up, I doubt he'd, stay. Pretty sure he'd just break out and come back again. Yeah, I didn't expect Adam to die this early in the series either. I expected Adam to be this constant, annoying, nagging force, just trailing around after Blake and being the only thing she ever worries about and being the only thing Yang ever worries about. But now he's just dead, and I don't need to worry about him anymore. It was a really good finale to Blake and Yang's arc, and I hope now they can evolve beyond it. The problem is, with Adam, Blake has been kind of separated from the rest of the Salem plot that everyone else is dealing with. Since she separated herself and went to Menagerie, she's been dealing with the White Fang and Adam this whole time, and she even during the battle at Haven, even though that was a big thing about getting the relic, she was only there to fight Adam. So it feels like Blake has been separated from the rest of the group plot-wise in the center plot about fighting Salem in the end. I'm sure there's a million fucking fan theories about Adam. He's not dead. We didn't see his body. Maybe he survived falling in the water. And yeah, maybe, but I think it'd be a poor choice, because I just said, now they have now they have room to grow. I would like to take a moment to talk about how amazing everyone's voice performances was this episode. There've been some good and bad from everyone throughout the whole series, but a lot of really just solid voice performance. Amazing extra 10 out of 10 to Barbara as Yang, because she just really knocked it out of the park. Here is a compilation of my favorite lines throughout this episode.
You're never getting to Atlas, do you hear me? Never! That's a shame, Maria, because I have plenty! Are you too crazy?
Guys! Ruby, stop!
What? She's nuts!
I'm not gonna break my promise. I swear. I know you won't. Gotcha.
Well, shit. That's gonna be exciting. So this episode, I had a lot to say that it sounds negative, and it's mostly because seeing the Leviathan at the end, as exciting an idea it is to watch our protagonist fight this thing, I can't help but think about how everything is their fault because they had a terrible plan. If they hadn't have tried to steal an airship and they hadn't have tried to stop and fight Cordo, then they wouldn't have the situation where Cordo's mech is out of commission and she can't fight the Leviathan. Because John said, it looks like her mech is designed to fight Big Sea Grim, who comes in from the depths, and now they fucking tanked it and it won't work anymore. So they've caused their own problem. And the more I think about how they put themselves in this situation, the more it annoys me. Because there were so many better options for the characters to take. And I understand wanting to have a really cool climactic finale, like a mech fight, and then there's a Leviathan. But I feel like you could have set it up in a way that it wasn't entirely Ruby's and Juniper's faults. Maybe they're setting up something, maybe there'll be a great big revelation in the next episode, but at this point it just feels like our heroes were idiots, and they were selfish, and now they've caused an entire city's worth of problems. And I know they're gonna go and help, they're gonna try to fix it, that's what they do, but it didn't have to happen. That's the biggest problem. The mech fight didn't have to happen, and they didn't need to cripple her mech, and this whole thing is just because they had one lousy idea and they didn't want to try anything else. They didn't want to write to... I know they keep saying they should have wrote to Ironwood, but that's what they should have fucking done. Crow wrote him a letter in the beginning of this volume. What if Ironwood shows up, says he's gonna take them, Cordo tries to fight him, and then Ironwood turns turncoat and he initiates fighting her. Because he's been acting crazy since Volume 4, which we haven't seen him since Volume 4, might I remind you. He's been on this weird power trip, and if he pulled Ruby and Juniper into the fight with Cordo, not only trying to stop Cordo, but also trying to stop Ironwood, then that would have been an interesting fight for them to do. Like, they're trying to kill each other, they're both, like, power-hungry and crazy, and then she cripples the mech and they stop Ironwood, and then the Leviathan shows up. So it's not Ruby's problem, it's Ironwood and Cordo's own pride and arrogance's problem. Because this way just paints Ruby and Juniper as idiots. They're just selfish. They don't care. They didn't think about the larger picture. They just thought about what they want and themselves. And it's their fault. So I'm not happy with how these events led up to this. I feel like there was a smarter way of doing it. But there's not much we can do about it now. And I am excited to see the Leviathan fight. Really the highlight of this whole climax here in Argus has been Blake and Yang's fight with Adam. That has been the highlight. I don't know how they could have done that without their plan of taking down the tower and he shows up, but there's a million ways you can think of that. Just have them split off to do something else, and he ends up pulling them aside, and it would have still worked. I have problems with, again, the setup how they got there, but those are very long-running problems from volumes past. How they've handled Adam's character up to this point, how they handled Yang's arm up to this point. There's things they could have done throughout the last couple of volumes to make those scenes better with Adam and Blake, but you heard me freaking out about how much I like that scene. It was all good. Every time we cut away to Blake and Adam fighting, it was a better scene for the episode. I have no problems with the climax of that story arc. And I'm excited. Next week, it's the finale. It's the finale. I'm nervous and excited, and I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm excited. Let me know in the comments what you think. Are you annoyed at Team RWBY like me about how they stopped Cordo's mech and they could have thought of a way around that? What did you think of Yang's amazing semblance moment? Because I'm sure you thought it was amazing, because it was fucking amazing. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe if you want, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.